All right, the title of this video is No More Rent. I want you to all live rent free, and I don't want you to have to put up with all the crap that I put up with. Well, all the crap that I put up with, it was me doing it to me, and I'm going to explain why. So, I know a lot of my viewers, they can't afford the rent that they have, and some of them think that my lifestyle is neat. And my lifestyle now is neat. It was always a hot mess, but I had to choose it. And, you know, I know a lot of my viewers, and I have one in particular that my heart goes out for. You wake up in the morning, you get ready to go to work. My girlfriend works maybe 10, 12 hours on her feet, standing all day, and she's not a spring chicken. And then she comes home tired and exhausted. Maybe she'll pick up some fast food, which adds to the weight problem, goes to sleep, and then she does it all over again. And that's a horrible treadmill. And my treadmill was, I'd done that for years, but with disability, they only give you so much money. And so I had a choice. My apartment was costing me $40 a day. And, I could not, I couldn't travel and pay the $40 a day. I wanted to do both because I had all these bunnies in my head that, not only was living in the van wrong and criminal, but you're supposed to want an apartment. You're supposed to want a house. Now, let me say, I don't think there's anything wrong with home ownership. 98% of all millionaires in this country, through home ownership and renting property, that's how they become rich. That's a great idea. But the people that rent these properties, that's how they become poor. And we're always so willing to do that, but we're told that this is normal, living in a house, living in an apartment. Nobody normalizes van life. But my ancestors, Hungarian, that's what we did. We traveled around. I believe the vehicle was called a Vardo, and we were travelers. That's normal. But you won't see that anymore. So having the house and all the housework and all the maintenance and all the repairs and worrying about the house and worrying about your materials, that is normal. And all that's supposed to make you happy. And you know what? If it makes you happy, go for it. But I had a choice. Like I said, disability is only so much. And, I got put into my first apartment. And, and then man, sorry about that. Those are people that love me. I love it. Okay, so, I was struggling with the money and everything. So, and, my apartment was dark and dank. It wasn't well lit. I'm not good at putting in lights and everything. I felt isolated. I couldn't go out and be with other people. And I would frequently, not that frequently, but just get in my van and, I'd be talking to Bob. I'd go out in the desert and just, for a couple of weeks, I'd sit there and relax. And, the gang of us back in the day, we'd wake up in the morning, we'd cook our own breakfasts, and then we'd go out for a walk, out in the middle of the desert. We'd take our puppy dogs with us. Yes, we would take her. She wasn't in the picture yet, but Bob would bring Homer. It was great. It was that sense of community that I was craving. And then, you go home, you make lunch, I'd work on my arts and craft. I'd be painting out there in the desert, or some of us ladies would get together. We'd do jewelry together, yep, all day. And, nighttime, make our dinners, go for that evening hike again, and then just sit around the campfire under the stars and just talk and just exist, But my little brain couldn't process that this was the lifestyle that I wanted. So back to the apartment I went. And this cycle I repeated. I jumped from apartment to apartment, being miserable every time in the apartment. And, then I'd get a little taste of freedom. And what I didn't know is these seeds were being sown. And, I hate to say this, but when I'd get to my mobile home or whatever, and all the maintenance had to be done, and all the bills had to be paid, and all this stuff, and it was just piling on, and it was stressing me out. And it's like, I was miserable. And, I'd come back out to the desert and be with the gang again, relax and everything, chill. And I didn't know how healing this was for me. And then go back and do the same insanity over and over again. And I did try to do a few things, I loved going places on the weekend, like to garlic festivals, music festivals. Indio, they have some really good, the date festival, that was great. And, so I said, well, you know what? I need to be able to afford both things. So what I need to do is do a little bit of part-time work, which of course stressed me out to no end. But I thought, you know what? Let's do some pet sitting. And, I'd watch people's pets, and then I'd earn some more money, and then on the weekends I could go out and play. No, 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 no. That's not how it worked. What it was people that wanted to go out and play on the weekend. Here you go. Here's Fido. You watch the dog. And I'm like, there's something wrong with this logic. Well, I got pretty good at making jewelry, so, I thought I'd sell my jewelry. Hey, guess when all the craft fairs are? On the weekend. So it came down to, basically, you have a set income. That's all you get. You need to choose. Are you going to choose van life, or are you going to choose an apartment, a mobile home? So like a lot of people, it was a trap, because my income is set. And, I couldn't earn any money, and because then I couldn't have the lifestyle that I wanted. And a lot of people are in a trap. And, the other trap was that my mind was the biggest trap. Everybody told me that I would never be happy living in a van. You're wasting your life. You're wasting everything. You're a loser. You're homeless. You're this, you're that. And it's like, but in my heart, I hated living in the apartment, and I loved being out in nature. And also, I thought that if I accepted van life, not only was I a loser, but I quit life basically. I really I let myself down big time, and it's like, I'm like, I'll go live in the van, and it was a big decision, but the first, I had the van, then I got rid of the van, and started working with Sue Ann, and she got me into the Prius, which was really wonderful of her. And, I was doing okay. I hadn't reached the happiness that I was. By this time, Bob and everybody was out of the picture. I wanted to do city camping, explore museums. You know me. You know my lifestyle. You know what I like doing. And, sitting in the desert for 2 weeks just wasn't me. But even, let me catch up real quick. I do really enjoy living in the desert. I had to find Terry. Okay. So, I had to change my priorities, and I had to change my way of looking at things. They always say less is more, and that doesn't make any sense. But when I was in the desert with everybody, I had more time to spend with friends. I had more friends. I had more time to spend with me. I had more time to journal. And one of the things I enjoy doing is making soup with fresh vegetables and everything. So I had more time to eat healthy. In the city, oh my gosh, there's fast food everywhere, and it's so tempting. But out in the middle of nowhere, I had time for me. And one thing I noticed that I started to grow, not only with the seeds that Bob planted about how wonderful this lifestyle is, but gratitude. Even though I had everything, a while back, but I had the house, a couple of cars, really cool cars. In fact, a El Camino, a motorcycle, a boat, a 400 square foot workshop. I had everything, but I didn't have an ounce of gratitude. And y'all watch my videos. This is the real Malteri. And, who would ever think I'd have a heart like this living in a van? But, I had more time to connect with nature, more time to connect with Lucy. So less really is more. It makes no sense to chuck it all. It makes no sense to say you're going to have more, when you have a lot less. But it works for me. So the first time, like every time, I was stealth camping out on sleets and everything. I screwed everything up, and I was scared of everything. So let me give you a little bit of wisdom. If you're living in your apartment and you're not sure this lifestyle is for you, do what I did at first. You can put some camping supplies in your car, go to a national park or forest, go out there for a weekend. Weekends aren't so great because it's full of people. But you know what? just get out there in nature. Try sucking it all in. And if you can camp with friends, that's even better. But something important will happen when you do this. This little seed, you have a lot of seeds of doubt right now, but this little seed will be planted to where you find a much slower lifestyle to be a good thing. Like I said, my ancestors back in Hungary, this is what they did. They traveled around in bardos. They enjoyed the freedom of it. And I didn't know I would enjoy the freedom of it. I didn't know, in an apartment, I felt trapped. But, like I said, I got that little taste of freedom. And once I had that little taste of freedom, I really missed it. And I kept coming back and coming back. So, just try and experiment. And like I said, I had lived in a van for about the Prius, my Volkswagen bus, and another Prius for a while. But I really wasn't getting a sense of, I really love this life. And that happened when, the pandemic happened, and no longer could I go and come as I please. If I want to go to Disneyland, I'll go to Disneyland. If I want to hang at the beach, all the beaches in California were locked down. And the minute that got taken away, I realized to myself how much I really love and treasure this lifestyle. And I hope you learn to love and treasure it too. One of the other things about less is more is I have a lot more money. Why? Because I'm not, retail therapy is one of the big things. I don't have a house to fill up with stuff. I mean, I can't literally buy anything. My van is packed, So I wind up profiting every month. I wasn't doing that in an apartment. I mean, I was giving away $1,200 a month rent. So when I don't have to do that, it's making me a lot more richer, which I really enjoy. And I find, because I'm so relaxed, before when I was working, it's like, hurry up, let's go to Vegas, rent a hotel room, gamble, buy the buffet, hurry up, and then hurry up and get back. Well, that's not my style anymore. When I get to Vegas, it's like, I'll see what there is to do tomorrow, and then I might do one or two things. I don't have to rush and spend money. I can really take my time to thoroughly enjoy myself. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to chuck everything. Just try the lifestyle. Maybe one day you go out, you camp in your car for a little bit, you go to a nice park or whatever. Just spend the day with yourself. Maybe bring a friend, camp overnight. I know, I'm always talking about stealth camping and Walmart. And my past, I was terrified of doing these things. Now I'm like an old pro. So just watch my videos. You'll learn how to stealth camp and everything. But what'll happen is, if you start doing this, that little seed of freedom will be planted. And before you know it, you're going to be at the next RTR with all of us, or maybe even the next RTR. You got to grow at your own pace. But what I suggest you do is, if you try it, write down what you didn't like, what drove you nuts, and then fix a few things for the next time. And then you'll try it again, and it'll drive you nuts. It drove me nuts for a while. And then you'll fix another thing or two, and you keep fixing a thing or two. And before you know it, it sounds weird, but you're going to really enjoy being in your vehicle. You're going to really enjoy the camaraderie that comes with it, and also the ability to help others. Like I said, if there's a van build, I'm there. Whenever people need me, I show up. So if you decide to join us, welcome. I hope you do. And remember, me and Miss Lucy will see you down the road.